Do we have liftoff? I think we have liftoff. Can you guys see and hear me? I can see there's a chat going already. Are we live? The chat's not moving, so I don't know if you guys can hear me. Okay, Courtney saying, yep. Smurflex is starting on time tonight. Y'all know I'm punctual. Unless there's a technical difficulty, I will be here on time. I'm a very punctual person. Hey, everybody. I decided to have Ray Ray up here with me since someone always asks where she is. She's usually just lounging on the couch back there. Hey, everybody. Hey, hey. Oh, thanks, Sally. Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely been doing a lot of toddler slays during this final stretch of the Protect Your Ends challenge because with keeping my edges out, I'm trying to come up with new styles that actually look cute with that. And here I am rocking rough and stuff with my Afro puffs. Courtney, do people mispronounce your name? I mean, it's pretty phonetic, isn't it? Thanks, Geraldine. Hey, everybody. So how many of y'all here actually participated in Make It Happen March with me? Because I did well on some parts of the rules and not so well in others. But we'll get into that in a second. Courtney, that's a damn shame. I mean, your name is phonetic. See, with me, people want to say Ty because I spell it T-I, and like, I don't get mad about that. It doesn't really bother me. But usually if people ask me how to spell my name, like if I say, oh, my name's T, and they're like, how do you spell that? I say, I don't care how you spell it. Just spell it however it is that you will actually remember how to pronounce it correctly. Cyrita, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people just don't even try. If they see letters in an order that they're not familiar with or that they've never encountered before, they don't even try to finish sounding it out. People are just, they're lazy. What happened to my savings Saturday? I didn't do one this week because I knew I was going to be doing this live today. And I was just like, I don't want to be like clogging up people's feeds with too much of my crap. So I do think I'm going to do one next Saturday though, because even though the challenge is over, I have a couple more ideas for Save Your Money Saturday videos. So I think I'm going to do one next weekend. Iron, that's ridiculous. Alexis is a very common name. Y'all are crazy. Like, I guess these people are crazy. Good God. Well, let's do this bit of housekeeping first and go through the rules of the challenge, and we can kind of chat about how we all did. Now, I did do well with making all my meals at home, including coffee. I'm not much of a coffee drinker, but I found my energy has been just kind of up and down lately. I think it's just because I've been staying up too late. So I made myself some cold brew, and I did do that. And I have cooked pretty much all my meals. I remember we had a 1-day pass to eat out if you had an event or something to go to. And in my case, I still ended up not paying because if you guys are part of my Instagram fam, you'll have seen that I actually went to brunch yesterday with my love Ghana Goddess, fellow YouTuber. We are friends in real life. Mainly because she mentioned me in one of her YouTube videos, and I reached out to her after that, and we became friends, and she wanted to take me out as a belated birthday, just get together kind of thing. So even though I ate out, I didn't pay for it. So saved even more money there. Thanks, Michelle. And then beyond that, I cooked all of my meals. So I was really proud of myself. I stuck to the rules of the challenge, and I didn't even need that 1-day pass. How did y'all do? Audrey, you did great. That's awesome. I think we should do more money challenges. I think doing this with you guys really helped me stay accountable because I definitely face my share of temptations with wanting to impulse buy things like makeup. I even did that Save Your Money Saturday video of new makeup that I wanted to buy, but that I wasn't going to buy. And I feel like if we hadn't done this challenge, I might have caved and picked up 1 or 2 things, but I didn't buy any bullshit this month, which I'm really happy about. QTB. Well, listen, we tried to get together earlier in the month, and then she ended up going to Canada, so we rescheduled it. So it's not, it's late, but it's still very sweet. Sarita, I freaking bought a wig. Listen, that might be a necessary purchase depending on how your situation is. I mean, there were things that I bought that would probably be considered unnecessary by other people, but they were things that I needed for my personal care or whatever. But I didn't buy anything really off the mark like eyeshadow palettes because, girl, the amount of eyeshadow I already have. But yeah, I mean, I bought things I needed for my hair or whatever, just like little things that I felt like, you know what, I actually need this now. It's not going to break the bank. By the way, I've got a little beverage buffet going here. I've got some kombucha here. And then I also made a hot toddy because I feel like that's a tradition of these live streams, which actually segues into one of the rules of the no alcohol. I've been drinking all month, y'all. I'm not even gonna front. I mean, I don't drink when it's not social. Like this is the first time I've even made a drink all month here at home, is this hot toddy. But, you know, if I'm on a date or if I'm at an event or something with friends, I did not stop drinking really. Not really. I would have like a cocktail or two and I'd be like, all right, I'm not really supposed to be drinking this month and called it a day. But I did not abide by that rule. Yeah, QTB, I work freelance. So there are times where, you know, the money's coming in steadily and times where it's not. So I completely feel you. Work has been super slow for me. So I really needed to crack the whip on unnecessary spending. Marielle, you super failed at this challenge. I feel like I super failed on some things and not others. Rite Aid is going out of business, Terry Lane? I didn't even know that. Is that true? Yeah, Geraldine, I remember at the start you guys had just closed on your house, so congratulations again. But moving is always super expensive. Even when I just moved into this apartment, which is now many years ago, I've lived here quite a few years. But you know, just having to get furniture that I didn't, because I used to live in a studio, so just even having more rooms to furnish, you know, it costs a lot of money. Mink 305, you bought a meat box from a grocery store. Oh, like one of those butcher boxes kind of things? I've never tried one of those because usually there's stuff in there that I know I probably wouldn't want to eat. So I like to kind of control what my proteins are going to be a little bit more than you usually can with those meat boxes. But if you like everything in there, they seem like they could be a good deal in terms of getting high quality animal proteins if you eat those. Monique KW, or is that just Monique W? I'm not sure, but yeah, I think I did well on some things in the beginning. And then as the month went on, I got a little bit more lax with a lot of other things. Try one new recipe per week. I definitely did that, or I should say it at least averaged to me trying 4 or more new recipes this month. So I was really happy about that. Again, if you guys check me out on Instagram, which don't feel obligated to by any means, but you would have seen what I was eating week to week a little bit more regularly. And I was sharing some of the recipes I was trying out on there. I think one of them I put in my highlights. So I made a chicken and sweet potato stew, which was bomb. And I'm definitely going to be making that again. But if you want to see how I made that, the story, I saved it to my highlights. So you can check it out to actually see the recipe if you want to try it yourself. Yeah, Natalie, you and I both. Alcohol, I mean, I just love to have a turn up with my friends, you know? It's difficult. Oh man. Oh, where are you heading, Natalie? I think you might have told me this last time we did a live or something that you were saving up for a trip, but I can't remember where. Mariella, you're used to failing. That's so bleak. Listen, none of us is perfect. I think the pursuit is almost as important as the progress itself. You know, you have to actually make the effort before you're actually going to see any progress. Yes, drinks were definitely had. I've got my celebratory toddy here, but I shouldn't even be celebrating because I've been drinking all month. Vern, you worked out every day for at least 30 minutes. That's dope. I'm finally back in the gym. I'm so excited. I've been doing home, which is Natasha Ocean's most recent fitness guide that she did, which, as you might guess from the name, is designed to be done at home. But I've been doing it at the gym, and I think it's actually better doing this program in the gym, which I'll get into more when I review it. I'm thinking, but yeah, just to adjust what that rule was. The rule was 20 minutes of activity every day, whether it's light activity like just a 20-minute walk every single day, or if you want to ump, bump up the intensity, you can do a gym session or something like that. In the beginning of the challenge, I was still kind of transitioning back into exercise, but I've completed 3 weeks of home now, and it's been great. I am so happy to be back in the gym. You wouldn't even believe it. Let's see. Mink, you're saying that you cooked a lot and not waste vegetables. Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. Oh, thanks, Terry Lane. Yeah, that story time about one of my worst dates ever has gotten a lot of positive feedback. And you guys wouldn't even believe how unnecessarily nervous I was about posting that video. For some reason, I was just really worried that it wasn't going to work out well, like it wasn't going to edit together well. People wouldn't be interested, that kind of thing. And quite the opposite. You guys were totally here for it, super encouraging. You know, a lot of YouTubers say that they have the best subscribers, but they're incorrect because I actually do. So thank you. Rochelle, I can happily kick you out of this chat if you want to make rude comments. Geraldine, you were good with your water. I was great with my water for the first chunk of the challenge. And then I've been really bad the past couple of days. I don't know what it was. Rum is damn near your blood. I'm not a rum person, but I feel you. Oh, Natalie, Norway, Sweden, and the Netherlands. I was just in Amsterdam, so you will have fun, I think. That should be really exciting. Have you been to any of those places before, or is this a first time for some or all of them? Let's see. Yeah, I'm really glad too, AO. Like it's crazy how much I rely on my exercise to just kind of help keep my mood stable and like stay happy. I mean, exercise is my antidepressant. So not being able to be in the gym for 6 months, yes, y'all, that was how long I was benched. I was benched for 6 months. To finally be back in the gym, I am so grateful. Let's see, what else? Peach Crown Royale. I've never even heard of that. Tamara. Well, you got, I mean, 3 months is a long time. You can do a lot of work in 3 months. In fact, I think 3 months is a far more realistic time frame to make some real changes compared to like the 6 weeks or 30 days that people are usually trying to sell you on Instagram or wherever. So 3 months is a long time. I think Natasha's first guide, Move, is a 3 month long program. So I really want to review that one too, but it's just such a long time commitment that I feel like before I get to that, I should probably review someone else's program because I know that, you know, just from a viewer standpoint, I'm sure you guys would want to see more variety than me just doing Natasha's programs back to back to back, which to be honest would make me perfectly happy because I love her programs. Thank you, Alexis. Thanks, Mariella. Yeah, I got a lot of dating. I mean, I even told one once on a live here, which I ended up privating, not even because of that story time, but there were just a few other things in there. I was just like, I don't think I should have this up on the internet. But maybe I'll like redo that story. I mean, I could do a lot of videos with dating story time horror stories. Trust and believe. Oh, hi, Sean Trees. Thank you. Love you too. Okay, so Natalie, you've been to all of the places. So at least it's kind of nice going back to places you already like because you don't have to worry about like cramming in so many things. You already know what your scene is. You've probably seen all the touristy things by now and you can just enjoy yourself. So that'll be fun. Anya, I probably will be sharing the other bad date experience. I have to think because like it's more scandalous, if that can be believed. It's actually quite a bit more scandalous than the other one. And then I have a few others that are kind of shorter. This was a bad date, but still kind of funny. So I might do a collection of some more story time videos. Oh, congrats on losing weight this month, Vern. I have to say, even though I was cooking all my own meals, I wasn't necessarily making the most healthful meals for myself. So I think my weight is probably kind of about where it was at the beginning of the month. But I'm going to tighten things up for April, I think, and get a lot more strict, not so much avocado toast, sticking more with my paleo kind of eating because I do feel like I'm looking a little bit more pudgy than I should be, considering that I'm back in the gym again. Ooh, Alexis, that's ambitious. 20 hours. I mean, you can get some serious fat burn if you can stick with that. But my advice would be to just make sure whatever you do, it's something that you consider to be sustainable. It's just like my thoughts on keto. Like I can respect keto from afar, but because I know for me, that's not a sustainable way to eat. I don't want to try it because I don't see myself being able to do it forever. And I don't want to rebound any fat that I might have lost on it as soon as I stop doing keto. And I would say the same thing with intermittent fasting. If you do something that's too challenging, you may start to resent it and you won't want to continue with it. So just be a little bit mindful of that as you try to approach doing 20 hours of fasting several times a week. But there are some people that works great for them. They'll do OMAD or the Warrior Diet, which I believe is only a 4-hour eating window on the Warrior Diet. So if that works for you, then have at it. It really is a very personal thing. Yeah, Pajama Girl. I took that live down as soon as it was over. I can't even remember what it was. It was some other comment I made. I was just like, that's not a good look. Oh, thank you, Dance Party. Tish, is there going to be an April challenge? I'm not going to do a back-to-back challenge. In April, we will be wrapping up the Protect Your Ends challenge that finishes on April 15th, but I'm not going to do another health and fitness lifestyle type of challenge for April. I'll possibly do one during the summer. I've done like Juicy in June and Juicy in July, things like that. So maybe it really just kind of depends on my mood. I think in April, I kind of want to focus on myself rather than sort of being a leader of a challenge, just focus on getting my diet realigned in a way where I feel like I can actually see progress from the work I'm doing in the gym. Because right now I'm in a place where even though I was making all my own meals, I made like nachos at one point because I had never made nachos and I was craving them. I was just like, oh, it can't be that hard. They turned out great. Still not the kind of food I should be eating though. So I want to get things a bit more cleaned up in April. And it's easier for me if I just do that offline. Terry Lane, how often have I been in dates from online sites? I did it a few times. It's like a part-time job, Terry Lane. I go on dates all the time. I was on a date on Friday, completely spontaneous, last minute. I matched with the guy. He messaged me immediately, asked if I wanted to meet for a drink. I'm a very spontaneous person. I said, yeah, great date. We're still talking. We're going to go out again. But I'm usually I got a lot of balls in the air. So I'm usually kind of dating a few different guys at any given time. And if there's someone where I actually feel like I want to hang out with him for a while, then we'll continue. But at this point, in terms of how many first dates I've been on with guys I've met online, I mean, if I had to ballpark it, I think probably more than 50. Probably more than 50. And that's a lot only because I have only been online dating cumulatively because I had like a period where I first got out of my long relationship, which was like a 5.5, 6 year relationship. I started dating online after that and then relatively quickly met my next boyfriend. So that was maybe 3-4 months or so before I met my most recent ex. And then we broke up a little over a year ago. So I would say I average about a date a week, but it's not consistent. There will be times where I just want to throw up my hands and I can't be bothered with it at all. And I stay off the apps entirely. And then there's other times where I get very type A personality about it. And I'm like double, triple booking dates in the same day just so I can get it over with and only do my makeup one time. So it really all depends. Vern wants some juice in July. Yeah, all right. Well, I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind, you guys. What else do we need to talk about in terms of these rules? So, yeah, I was good with my water, like 75, 80% of the challenge. I have not been good with it this past week. Don't know why. Mostly just not making it happen, basically, because there were days where I almost didn't hit my water prior to, and I made it happen. I would drink 2, 3 glasses in the evening because I was behind in the day leading up to that, and I just haven't been doing that this week. Um, did not buy anything unnecessary, restocks on things that I needed, or picking up new things that I didn't anticipate needing but did need. Fine. Oh, the grateful jar. Did anybody else do this? I've got my grateful jar right here. This was maybe my favorite thing of the challenge because it really helped me align with not dwelling on things that were making me stressed or worried for my future and being grateful for what I do have. So that was really good for me. And it also helped me curb the unnecessary spending because, I have everything I need. I have more than everything I need. I have a very lucky, rich life, I'm not balling out or anything, but I live in a first world country and I have my own place and I've got my little dog and I have everything I need. So I really love this. I think I might have missed 1 or 2 days remembering to write in here, but I'm really looking forward to looking through all my little things that I've been grateful for throughout the month because this is just the beginning. Every day I could have put down 5, 6 different things each and every day and not had any repeats if I had done it for the whole month. Mink, you did a journal. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Misi, you just got the notification. Well, you're still here. That's all that matters. Vern, yeah, however you want to do it, because I think that I'm pretty good about just being grateful mentally as well every day. I just wanted to actually try to put it to paper. I think it's the writer in me. There's something about actually like handwriting something that makes it a little bit more special. And I like being able to actually like look at this jar. There's something about that visual representation that I find very satisfying. But even just a moment of reflection, like quiet reflection, where you sit with yourself and literally count your blessings, I think that's just fine too. Shelly, you've been doing a grateful jar since January? Wow. Yeah, I feel like if I keep going, I'm definitely good. We're gonna need a bigger jar. Oh, Mink, skin goals. This is a very blurry camera right now. This is just the built-in camera on my computer. Yeah, Chrissy Bells, I agree. Journaling, I used to be a lot better about journaling when I was younger, and I hardly ever do it now. But I think it's something that I should get back into because it really is enlightening. All right. Well, it sounds like we all kind of did the challenge in our own way, which is exactly my goal. Whenever I do these challenges, I try to make the rules as adaptable and universal as possible. The only things that I try to set in stone are the things that I feel would ideally be universally helpful. Thank you, Chloe. But yeah, I think it was a good challenge. It might have been my favorite that I've done yet. Like, because I do the fitness stuff all the time, drink this much water or get this much exercise. But the finance aspect, as well as the grateful jar, I think were the two most profound positive changes for me this month. So yeah, I was really happy with Make It Happen March, and I hope that you guys were too. And thank you for all of you who joined in part or in full. Like if you only did some of the rules and not others, hell, I only did some of the rules and not others because I've been drinking. But in any event, I wanted to talk to you guys about this surviving Cardi B thing. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know like the full details of it. I've just kind of heard how it's been reported, like on Philip DeFranco and stuff, because like I'm just not in that loop, that gossip loop of news. Like I don't usually know what's going on. When that whole thing was going on with what was her name, Jordan Woods? Like, first of all, I didn't even know who the hell Jordan Woods was. So when she was having that whole blow up with the Kardashians, I couldn't care less, honestly. But I'm not in that world, so I didn't know what the hell was going on until it was already old news. But this Cardi B thing, I've just got a lot of thoughts on it. mainly because of this false equivalency that people keep making when they're like, and for those of you who might not have heard, I should do a TLDR, as they say, where evidently someone dug up some old ass IG live where Cardi B was saying that part of her survival before she became Cardi B was, when she was still stripping and stuff, was she used to drug men and then rob them when they were passed out. And everyone had, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have gone on to say, this is terrible. Cardi B's canceled. If a man were to do this, can you imagine? He would have no career. And that's absolute horseshit, because we've heard of men doing things that are far worse than this, and they absolutely still have careers. In the case of someone like Bill Cosby, of course, who was drugging women and violating them, we didn't necessarily know, but some people did. I mean, the National Enquirer reported on that, I think, in like the 90s or something. And I really just resent this idea that people keep going back to this argument of, well, if a man said it, because it's not the same thing. That isn't to say that what Cardi B did is correct or acceptable and that she shouldn't face consequences for these crimes, because they are crimes. But the idea that it's the same as a man doing it is fucking nonsense. And I even saw in a suggested video that I obviously didn't watch. For some reason, I'm getting recommended a lot of like gossip channels in my YouTube feed. And I saw the video title was something like Cardi B victim exclusive interview. Monistat was in her purse when she robbed him or something. It's just like, what kind of horse, like, what difference does that make? That is like the most like childish. Oh, and on top of everything else, she had a yeast infection. Like, what kind of bullshit? That is the most misogynistic, petty, childish shit ever. And it really just made my blood hot. I was like, I will never click on that video, because I will not give you even one view for that kind of clickbait bullshit. Yes, exactly, Alexis. They've been going way harder. I mean, there's male rappers who are under investigation for rape right now, and they still have careers that seem to be doing just fine. So, like, what is your fucking point with this? Well, if a man did it, if a man did it, he still wouldn't be canceled, would he? Because we're seeing that happen right now. Because men have done far worse and they're not canceled. Robbery and rape are not equivalent. Exactly. Mink, does she not have a publicist? I mean, I would believe that based on how her career is being handled, that she doesn't have a publicist, and just how, for lack of a better word, unfiltered, hashtag unfiltered she is when she goes on Instagram and starts going on her rants and things. I think in a weird way that is part of her appeal, because I hate to say this and make this corollary, but I think this is the same reason that Trump appeared to his racist ass base, is that unfiltered feeling of direct access. There is no messenger. You're getting the message from the source, or at least there's a perception of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if she has no publicist, but I also feel like that is part of her appeal, is that she doesn't have a publicist, and what you see is what you get. Exactly, Geraldine. R. Kelly. I mean, they locked him up briefly, and then these people have put up the money to get him right back out of jail. Like, what world are we living in? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Yeah, Chrissy, the misogynistic lyrics. I mean, the misogynistic lyrics wouldn't even be so bad if there weren't even worse misogynistic actions. Like, the lyrics are the least of the problem. Not to say they aren't a problem at all. R. Kelly's publicist needs to be fired though, Chrissy Bella, because that publicist is not doing a great job. Oh man. Yeah, Cardi B used the money she robbed for studio time and for payola, probably. I've never robbed anything. The whole real thing is a joke. I don't know what you necessarily mean by that, by natural advice. I mean, I've never robbed anyone either. I think the point I'm making is Cardi B's lack of a publicist means that you're getting her opinions unfiltered. They're pretty much direct. I mean, if she had a publicist, she probably would have never done that, or that IG video, I should say, would have never happened in the first place, possibly, probably. I agree, Sarita. There is no publicist in the world that can fix R. Kelly, but the one he has also seems to be especially bad. Yeah, that Gayle King interview, I mean, that famous still that we've all seen now where he's standing and she's sitting there cool as a cucumber, like water off a duck's back. I mean, when I first saw that image, I didn't know the context. I think I just was scrolling on like a news site and I saw that photo and I thought it was legit a still from Trapped in the Closet. Like the way it was lit, it looked so dramatic. I thought it was actually a still from Trapped in the Closet. And I was just like, oh no, that's Gayle King sitting there in that chair. Oh man. I'm with you, Vern. I feel like I'm disconnecting from mass media more and more every week, every month, every year that goes by because the things that are considered news are such garbage anyway. It's like, can I get the real, like the actual events that are happening in the world that are life and death rather than whether Cardi B is canceled? Like, this is horseshit. And I mean, it actually was similar to how I felt about the Jordan Peele situation. To the unfamiliar, Jordan Peele is the director of Get Out, Academy Award winning screenwriter of Get Out. And he's also directed Us and wrote that, which just came out. I saw Us, by the way. I kind of want to do a discussion video on that, but I don't know how many of you guys would even care or have seen it, but I have a lot of thoughts on that movie. But anyway, he did an interview, I want to say with the Hollywood Reporter or somewhere. And of course, as usual, people were taking a statement he said out of context, although like, I don't personally need the context because I immediately understood what he meant with or without context. But he said that he didn't really see himself casting a white guy in the lead as the lead in one of his films. The context was Jordan Peele is actually biracial. Not that that matters, but he is, for all intents and purposes, a black man. And yeah, he doesn't see himself casting a white dude because we get plenty of that. You know, I mean, that's the context. I didn't need to read the rest of what he said. But of course, plenty of people on Twitter or wherever were popping off and saying how he was racist and how that was unfair. And much like with Cardi B, can you imagine if a white director said that? The obvious difference here is white directors don't have to say that. That is the industry standard. That's what's already happening all the fucking time. If that weren't the case, Jordan Peele wouldn't even have to make this this statement and have this sort of mission in the first place. You know, we already have white guys getting cast in every other movie. That is what's considered standard and normal. And we're trying to change that. That's his whole point. Like, what is going on that these people are so victimized by anyone even attempting equality and progress? Anyway, sorry guys. I've had a lot of thoughts on my mind about this stuff. Oh, Natalie, I think you should check out Us for sure. It's really, really interesting. I have some issues with it, and I feel like that's kind of why I want to do a discussion, kind of like like not a review, because I would want to be able to speak about it freely and not have to worry about spoiling it for anyone. But yeah, Mink, I think I'm actually going to see it again. So if you guys are down, it's looking like you are. I'm going to see Us again because I want to make sure like I have a clear vision of what I want to say about it. Misi, you haven't seen Get Out? I love Get Out. I actually like Get Out more than Us, but I do like Us as well. You didn't find Us scary at all. I feel like my butthole was clenched almost the entire time. I think that there's a lot of really creepy imagery in Us that is very chilling and that really stuck with me. Alexis, that is spot on. Right directors say exactly what Jordan Peele is saying, but for white actors, except they're not saying it, they're just doing it the way they cast their movies. You're exactly right. And it's not just, white directors, it's the industry as a whole. It's sort of like this crazy denial that like institutionalized racism isn't a thing. Like, oh, that's not a thing. So that means Jordan Peele is racist for trying to create opportunities that wouldn't otherwise exist. It's nonsense. No, beloved, I didn't see it alone. It was a big group of us. I actually saw it with Philium. For those of you who remember my days on Tasted, we are friends, and it was him and a few of our other friends. We all went as a big group, and we saw it during the daytime, which I was actually pretty happy I did in the end. It's a lot nicer when you get out of a creepy movie and the sun is still up when you walk outside the theater. Yeah, Natalie. I mean, if he doesn't want to, and quite frankly, it's never something that I've articulated necessarily either out loud or to someone else, but like I don't know that I would be writing stories about like white women or white men. Like that's not my perspective. And even if it's not a piece that's about like that's another point I wanted to make actually is like just because a movie isn't about Muhammad Ali or isn't some biopic about Nelson Mandela, like you can still cast a black lead. Like we can play other roles too. We can just be a family about in a movie about something that isn't about being a black family necessarily. Like it's okay. However, those opportunities have never existed, and that has never been the assumption in show business. The always assumption has been like, if you're going to cast a black person, that person's entire role is about being black or is about being a token to make it look like this is a multicultural cast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, me see Bad Boys 3. Bad Boys is a terrific example because I would never consider Michael Bay like a super forward thinking director or even like my cup of tea. But the fact that he wanted to cast two black cops in Bad Boys was extremely controversial at the time. And I have to say, it would probably be controversial if they were making Bad Boys 1 today. Like that would be a thing. That would be something that would be discussed a lot. So the fact that he did this back in the 90s or whenever the hell Bad Boys first came out, and the fact that he was a white director doing it, I got to tip my hat to him because I don't know how many other directors would have done that. Yeah, Shanette, I think you're touching on what I was kind of thinking before. Like, even though I probably would have acted in the same way as Jordan Peele in his position, I don't know that I would have articulated that in an interview necessarily. I just would have gone ahead and done it. And that isn't to say that he shouldn't have said that, at least not in my opinion. It's just that I don't know if it's something that it would have occurred to me to even say. It's just something I would do because I am black. That is my perspective. And I would want to see black people in roles that aren't necessarily roles about what it is to be black. It's just a family in a crisis situation like in Us or something, whatever it is. Oh, Pajama Girl, one of these days, William and I should do something because I've been wanting to get him on here for forever. And then every time we hang out, I forget to pick up my camera because we just get to talking and having fun. He was here a week ago. I had him over for dinner and we just had dinner and hung out. And I didn't even think to pick up my camera because I'm an idiot. No, Nelly, we can talk about anything. I do still watch Natasha's videos and I follow her on Instagram and everything. Yeah, she's got I think 3 new programs coming out. She just announced it like yesterday on her Instagram. I'm currently doing her home program, but I don't think I'm going to do it all the way to the end because it's a 10-week program. And I selected it to help me just kind of get back into the groove of working out after returning from an injury. And I figured doing a program where the only resistance is body weight and resistance bands would be the perfect sort of bridge to getting back into proper weight training. And it has been really good. I'm 3 weeks in. I'm going to do 4 to 6 weeks, I think, and then probably review the program at that point because you kind of get it at that point. I don't think I necessarily would need to do all 10 weeks to be able to give a comprehensive review. Um, I do plan to check out Cut 2 because she's doing kind of a follow up to Cut as one of her new programs. And then she didn't say what the other two programs are going to be. But I'm watching. My my radar is up and I'm watching. Chrissy Bells, exactly. Directors don't make these decisions in a vacuum. You know, Michael Bay couldn't just decide to cast Will Smith and Martin Lawrence without getting the okay. Like he had to convince them. And I'm sure Jordan Peele, to a certain extent, had to do the same. I mean, because he's Jordan Peele now, he's an Oscar winner and yada, yada, yada. Part of what he was saying was that he's now in a position where he doesn't necessarily have to ask that permission anymore. And that's why he's happy to have achieved this level in his career. Yeah, I don't know. I think it just goes back to the whole idea that like it's not one person being racist and saying, oh, we're going to always cast white people as the leads in almost every movie, and then we'll have the black friend. Like that's not one person's decision. It's a system. It is an institution of not representing, not being inclusive, etc. I think I've heard of I'm Still Here, Chloe. I'm going to have to, let me write that down so I don't forget, because I think I've heard of that before. And I'm always up for a good read. I don't think I've ever listened to an audiobook, though. I have not listened to Amanda Seal's podcast only because I don't really do podcasts. There's just so many. I always feel too intimidated. I was listening to Pod Save America for a while. It became too depressing and I had to stop. I had to stop listening to that too. Alrighty. I didn't hear Nipsey Hussle died. Wow. Wow, that is sad. Okay. Getting my news from the chat section on my YouTube live now. Oh, do we have a troll? I can't even see it. One of my moderators must have got, thank you to whoever, Geraldine, it looks like, is laying down the hammer. I don't even know what this person was saying. So Geraldine is like just protecting my delicate constitution right now by blocking this person. He was shot outside his store. Oh, so this just happened. Wow. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's terrible. Yeah, Chloe, I think I'm going to start getting into audiobooks too, just so I can multitask. Just when I'm home cleaning, instead of listening to Ready to Die for the 8 millionth time, I could put on an audiobook and get two things done. So I think I'm going to start getting into them too. I always felt like it was cheating in a weird way. Like I feel like you're supposed to sit there with the book and read it. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, Mariella, here today, gone today. Life is short. Some of you guys, I don't want to end this on a bummer, but I am going to start wrapping things up since it's already been 45 minutes that I've been on here. But some of you guys know my friend Keisha, who usually looks after Ray Ray when I go out of town. She does dog boarding and she's been fighting cancer for over a year now, and it is not looking good. A lot of you guys were really kind and contributed to her GoFundMe, which I mentioned on one of my not vlogs ages ago. I think it was like at the beginning of the summer, but it is looking like we are at a point of no return with her health. So just I only wanted to bring that up because I know some of you guys were praying for her and invested. And if you were praying for her before, please continue to do so. But it's not looking like she's going to be with us much longer. I think we're at a point where we can't save her. Yes, thanks to you all. Yeah. It's just really sad because I think it was Marielle a moment ago saying life is short. I mean, Keisha, I think, is 44 or 45. I mean, that is hella young. That's so young. And just doesn't deserve this. I mean, there's so many shitty people and she's not one of them. Like she deserves to live, and it's just been really hard seeing her. I mean, she's already lasted so much longer than a lot of people with this, but the cancer has gotten pretty bad. Like it started in her mouth. She's in horrible pain. They've already removed so much tissue, but it's spread. It's in her lungs. It's in her brain. Like it's bad. Uh, so yeah, that's that's where we're at. Life is not fair, Alexis. Life really isn't fair. Chrissy, she does not have a spouse nor kids. Her brother lives with her, and he's sort of her main caretaker. But she also has her friend, who's her medical advocate, who, because her brother works. So her friend, who's her medical advocate, has sort of been keeping me in the loop because it's at a point where they had to hospitalize her, and she can't even talk right now because they had to cut a nerve in her jaw because the pain was so bad. And I just don't want my friend suffering any longer. I'm trying to let go, and I think even Keisha is at a point where she isn't ready to let go, and she still wants to fight, and she's scared. I mean, I would be scared too, but I don't want her to suffer. I don't want her to be in pain any longer. Yeah, it is, Mariella. It's hard to watch someone just waste away. Well, in any event, let's try to end this on a positive note. You guys have any good news that you guys have had come through this week? Um, it's nice to be wrapping up our little challenge together. That feels good. Trying to be optimistic for Keisha, regardless of how things turn out. But I think the writing is on the wall. Yeah, Eagles lover, exactly. Nelly, that's funny. I've had a few commenters under videos say that they have, straight hair, and they like my videos anyway because it just teaches them about better hair care practices. I think um, there's less concern about like overuse of heat and hair dye and things that damage the hair sometimes with people who have more manageable hair textures. So it's been an interesting thing. I've gotten a few comments which is like, yeah, like people with straight hair don't take good care of their hair. I love your videos. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Good for you, Eagles lover. I did too. No unnecessary spending for me this month. See, positivity. And yes, Alexis, turn back to that grateful jar. I've got plenty of positive things right in here. Oh, Shanette, is your husband a realtor? Lydia, you watch for my methods. Well, I mean, I just try to be helpful. I'm no expert on hair. I'm only an expert on my hair, but I feel like I've learned a lot from watching other people's trial and error on YouTube with hair, with makeup, with skincare, everything. So I just try to throw in my 2 cents as well. Well, that's great, Shanette. I hope it sells and for a lot of money so you get that nice commission. That's great, Gabrielle. I hope to be a homeowner someday. Maybe when I'm a big girl and I have more consistent income and I'm not hustling for every freelance job like I am right now. That's awesome, Pajama Girl. I want to go to Thailand too. You're going to have to tell me about it after you get back because I really want to go. And I think that that's supposed to be a really like uh, I guess, user friendly destination for people who maybe don't travel that much. Like, all these jet setting YouTubers who are constantly at the airport, constantly getting passport stamps. If you only take one or two big trips a year or even less than that, I hear Thailand is a good option. All right, you guys, that's it. That is a positive note. Let's all wish Pajama Girl safe travels and a really fun trip. And it's been really fun catching up with you guys on this live. I love y'all. You'll know that. Thank you for showing up for this live. I think I will go ahead and do a discussion video on us. It will not be spoiler free, but I do want to see it again first. So maybe I'll try to get that up sometime this week. I do have a couple other videos planned, so we will work it in. But thanks for hanging out with me. I love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.